Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of It's Rupee Cast featuring Dawn of War 2, Retribution. Red-Rupee here with you, shoutcasting these games for you. I was just looking at this centerpiece right here, trying to figure out what exactly this little command info station is or something. I'm not sure. What does it say? Castra Zerticus right there on that screen. I don't know. Anyways, we're on Outer Reaches. As you can see here, Outer Reaches is a great map. It always just tends to be a constant source of great games and replays as we scroll around here. On the red side, we've got Soom as our Space Marine, Tech Marine over here. And on the blue team, we've got CSM, aptly named because he is in fact playing Chaos, which has that very unit, the Chaos Space Marines, as our Chaos Lord. So, taking a look around the map, we of course have these center points up here, these two power nodes that kind of switch hands back and forth. Always good to take those if you can, but otherwise, you know, just try to keep them out of your opponent's hand. It always helps your power income if you can hold them, but it's not dramatic one way or another. And other than that, we've got people taking their ancillary requisition points out here on the far ends, and the Chaos Lord just plowing his way up, knocking over all kinds of cover as he heads into the center. And looks like he's going to try to go ahead and secure that center power point I was just talking about right now at the beginning of the game. So other than that, cap orders looking pretty standard. Build orders, we got Tactical Marines on the field. Looks like Chaos Space Marines a little late coming onto the field. And an extra squad of scouts for Soom. And meanwhile, looks like Chaos Lord is heading on up to the center victory point and going to try to lock that down nice and early. Unfortunately, you can't quite crash through everything on the map. Going to go ahead and walk around that. I mean, if you got Terminator armor, you may as well stomp through things. Why not? And a second squad of heretics coming onto the field for CSM. So it'll be interesting to see how these two heroes interact with each other here. Looks like Soom is planning on kiting him around between the scouts and the Tech Marine. As a Chaos Lord, this isn't really where you want to be. Walking between various range squads, you're just going to kite it around. And looks like he's going to have to just get out of there already, unfortunately, and not be around for the first engagement. So a nice little setup there by Soom, pulling the Chaos Lord into his range pile there and forcing him out nice and quick. But the heretics are moving in on these Tactical Marines, or walked right by them, unfortunately, and decided to head for the scouts. A little bit of indecisiveness, letting those Tacs stay on the field probably a bit longer than they should have. And now engaging the Tac Marine, the first squad of heretics do have to fall back. The scouts of Soom were back decapping the victory point, and the heretics did pop a Doom Blast and scared them off the field. But Soom's still going to be able to control this first engagement, it looks like. These first squad of Chaos Marines, the CSMs of CSM, looking very low. Hiding behind some green cover. Oh, but a model does fall down after losing the heretics, and now that model putting Soom the definitive victor of that first engagement. The Chaos Lord, meanwhile, has gone ahead and gotten his Combi Flamer, which gives him some excellent range damage, comparable to that of the vanilla Tech Marine. And the Scouts now being upgraded to Sniper. Oh, a Scout falling already. Normally not that big of a deal, but once you upgrade those Scouts to Snipers, you really want to try to avoid losing them. And he's actually pretty fortunate he didn't lose a second model there. But once they are upgraded, they do cost an additional 6 power as well to reinforce there. And so you really want to try to minimize losses once you get those snipers on the field. But Tech Marine possibly staying in a bit too long, taking a few hits. This Chaos Lord is probably going to be able to finish him off with only 30 HP. Oh, but he turns too slowly and doesn't get the hit. The Tech Marine getting a daring escape right there at the end. And that was probably a bit fortunate for Soom, just barely getting out of there. So again, taking out quite a few heretics here, and these Chaos Marines are going to have to be very careful. Oh, they do fall back. Those snipers surely would have dropped the model with how low HP they are. Taking a look at income, it looks like both players have full power farms. I think Soom's was up a bit before CSM's, though. And now we have 2 scout snipers, which is interesting. I'm normally very hesitant to go scout snipers against Chaos, as if you can't slow down their tech at all, you're going to get rushed by that early Bloodcrusher. Tech Marine Artificer Mine going up right here, right in that retreat path. Let's see. Oh my goodness, taking out 3-4 heretics. That last heretic's on his way out there, getting to take a couple melee shots, and he is down. Excellent play by Soom, getting that Artificer Mine up just in time, and also placing another one while he's at it, and a third. So grenades have been upgraded for those heretics to try to keep those scouts off the map, and as you can see, Soom is trying very hard to minimize his losses, but constantly bleeding some heretics for CSM, and after taking out that first squad, he decides he is going to bring a second on the field. He's going to need that for map control, if nothing else. And you can see that Chaos Lord just very difficult to kite him once he gets that combo flamer. He does excellent range damage and is going to be able to force those tactical marines on the field before falling back himself. Probably didn't have to fall back, but I guess with these 2 scout snipers coming in, didn't want to take some unnecessary health loss right there. So Soom's doing a pretty excellent job of beating CSM right now, just been causing all kinds of ticks to fall left and right here, and taking out CSM or 2 early in the first engagement. So Soom's brought a second squad of tactical marines on the field, going a pretty heavy tier 1, and not hesitating to drop these artificer mines. You can see he's got a couple on the way to his victory point and one further up. Also good, this particular spot I like, because if people are hitting your power farm and you stop a power bash, generally they have to retreat right through here. So anyways, returning to the action, we got both of the tactical marine squads. Oh, attack does fall, and you can see the aspiring champion and the grenades on that heretic squad. So those tactical marines are going to need to be kind of careful if Soom wants to keep his reg advantage and not lose any tactical marines. Oh, another one does fall, so that's one off both squads so far. Meanwhile, the scouts are just running around, capping the top of the map. But Soom really trying to push his advantage and try to take out a few of these heretics before he has to pull those tactical marines back. A nice grenade volley trying to prevent that tech marine from taking that victory point right there. But Soom's got a 2-0 cap right now. And it looks like you can see Soom doing a good job of trying to kite back and forth with these 2 sniper scouts and forcing that Chaos Lord off. If he had gotten closer, those scouts wouldn't have lasted long against that combo flamer. And Soom's been doing a pretty good job of keeping those scouts out of harm's way. So taking out a few more heretics and pushing the map advantage. Neither player has been able to get in on their power. Of course, scouts not being much in the ways of power harassers early game. And so both players are moving into tier 2. Soom with a slight advantage going into tier 2, but both players hitting it relatively at the same time. It'll be interesting to see how Soom decides to deal with, I'm sure, what's the inevitable Bloodcrusher. If you have 2 scouts on the field bearing sniper rifles, there's really going to be no reason not to get a Bloodcrusher on the field and chase them down. So it looks like Soom's trying to go ahead and grab this bottom tower, but it doesn't look like he's going to get that in time before these 2 squads of grenade launcher heretics move in. And those are going to be... it's going to be interesting to see whether those or the scout snipers come out on top of these engagements coming up here, as they both have the potential. Oh man, lots of heretics falling on this side of the map. And up top we can see the tactical marines trying to keep them constantly engaged so they can't lead off these sniper scouts. Both squads now upgraded with infiltration, it looks like, as well. So trying to prevent the Chaos Lord from being able to take them down with that range fire of the combo flamer. By keeping the engagement down on this side of the map, you can see Soom's pretty much taken all of the map. The Chaos Marines have managed to move up top a little bit and take the center victory point. But you can see the Tech Marine hasn't even been in this fight and has just been moving around the back here, capturing the VP and going to get CSM's natural wreck point as well. But Soom does need to be very careful with these tactical marines. They do fall back. And the scouts are going to be right in between all these grenades. Oh my goodness, just some massive damage hitting 2 volleys of grenades and then a second volley from the ability, the grenade barrage. Luckily, all those scouts got out, but he did lose about 4 scouts there. So that's going to cost him, you know, at 6 apiece, probably about 20 or so power to get those reinforced. And there is the Bloodcrusher. It's on the field. Soom is also tier 2 now, so let's see. Soom does have a pretty heavy wreck advantage right now, though, so I'm sure he'll be bringing some nice tier 2 forces on the field. A charge by the Bloodcrusher, but the Tech Marine looked like he managed to get just north of that rush. He probably would have been in a bit of trouble had it knocked him down. But he did escape yet again. Another escape by the Tech Marine, and it looks like both Tactical Marines getting rocket launchers now. That's going to be his answer to the Bloodcrusher. But even that, especially with them all being very low HP right now, that's going to be very dangerous to keep them on the field. So one squad very low, down to 2 members, and not a single member now. CSM does decide to pull that Bloodcrusher back, though. And, let the Galaxy Burn being dropped at point-blank range on those sniper scouts and took out one whole squad and all but one of the second. Oh my goodness. Excellent timing by CSM to drop those sniper scouts. And we can see, a drop pod coming in and reinforcing a couple tacks and 2 of the snipers. So nice use of that. Keeping that power on, and it looks like Soom's going to bring a Dreadnought onto the field as well. So, not often you see the drop pod used, but always good when you have several tacks down and, you know, anything else pretty much at that point for the cost. It's definitely worth the instant reinforce and the bit of red that it does cost to bring those on the field.
Requisition point is slipping away.
You know, lots of Marines tend to not use the drop pod for fear that they won't be able to call in Terminators later in the game.
Ready to kill.
But it certainly can be useful. As we can see, the Tech Marine's gone ahead and teched himself out with the Orb of the Omnissiah, which will be probably integral to dealing with that Bloodcrusher. Definitely makes people a lot more hesitant to move that Bloodcrusher in when you have the potential to completely disable it. And the Plasma Gun for, of course, dealing with some Chaos Tactical Marines. So the full force of Soom moving in on the field right now. The Dreadnought did hit the field and is going to be lumbering his way on up to the battle, I'm sure. But I'm not sure if these attacks and scouts are going to be able to deal with the current threat. Let the Galaxy Burn hitting right now. Oh, and Tech Marine Mine on the Chaos Lord to reduce his remaining energy to none. I probably still would have saved that for the Bloodcrusher. That's an oft underused ability of the Orb of the Omnissiah to drain energy, but in this particular case I would have saved that for the Bloodcrusher. Because now that he knows that that isn't on the field, he's not hesitating to rush in and engage these tactical Marines. So looking pretty good so far. Oh, there's the Dreadnought engaging the Chaos Lord. Chaos Lord's decided to get the heck out of there and go ahead and wreck everything in his way on the way out. Looks like the Dreadnought's been upgraded to the Melta, which is interesting. I would have really expected it to just stay as a melee Dreadnought for right now. But that will certainly prevent the Bloodcrusher from kiting it terribly easily. It's going to have to commit if it does choose to move in and engage that Dreadnought. So it looks like Soom's going to go ahead and try to finish off this power node and take that central power down there in the meantime. Oh, the Sniper Scout's taking another grenade volley, but it looks like they didn't take much damage. And that Dreadnought picking off one heretic at a time there with that Melta. Definitely a bit of overkill. Oh my goodness, there was another volley that almost took those scouts out. And Plague Marines now on the field, bought by CSM as a response to this Melta Dread. And I'm not sure if he doesn't see that, if that Dreadnought is very overextended right now. That could be it for it. He needs to get the rest of his squads up here to reinforce this Dreadnought's position. You can see the Tech Marines way up top there, not going to be able to help it out. Those Plague Marines constantly hitting. Good use of Worship to keep those Plague Marines up nice and close to that Dreadnought by CSM. And I don't think that Dread's going to be able to get out of there. You can see the Tactical Marines are trying their damnedest to keep those Plague Marines engaged, but again, moving up and worshipping allowing those Plague Marines to move quick enough to keep up with that Dreadnought. And one more missile, and it's going to go down, unfortunately. Oh, that would be a pretty large waste for Soom. Oh, there it goes. Oh my goodness. That Dreadnought never even really got to do anything but kill a couple of heretics. That was certainly not worth the investment. You can see the Chaos Lord switched out his Combat Flamer for the Lightning Claws now, which will give him some excellent anti-infantry damage in melee. Completely removes his range damage, and now switching over to the Mantle of Hate, which will give him the Life Drain ability. So Assault Marines now coming in. You can see the Tech Marine's going to drop his Orb of the Omnissiah and then probably get the heck out of there, because he's not going to be able to deal with that current Chaos Force up top by himself. A lone scout capturing that middle point, that's pretty dangerous considering with the sniper upgrade, you really don't want to lose that last scout. Yeah, Chaos Lord hounding these tactical marines, and oh no, Soom has to be very careful. Oh, the scout sniper goes down. Oh, and from having a pretty strong tier 1, Soom, I feel like, is now pretty well on the back foot now after losing those 2 scout snipers and that Dreadnought very quickly in tier 2 here. A nice looking smite by that Librarian, hitting those Chaos Space Marines. And Assault Marines now on the field, going to be jumping on top of those grenade-launching heretics. Lightning and Thunder coming in on those Assault Marines. Definitely going to be useful in trying to deal with this Bloodcrusher. With 2 rocket launchers and Melt-A-Bombs, you should certainly hope that Soom is going to be able to take that down. CSM was building some Blood Layers, but now deciding instead that he's going to move on into tier 3. And hit the tech now that he feels he has the field advantage.
Your forces obey you.
So the VP is sitting pretty much even at this point. Been a good back and forth as far as that goes, but Soom taking quite a few losses here in tier 2. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that reduced force right now and trying to keep the map.
We are eager to prove ourselves.
So Soom, again, not hesitating to just constantly be dropping Artificer Mines. You can see there's 5 Artificer Mines guarding this bottom victory point. And now dropping one on the center as well, which is good. I mean, if you have the energy, never hesitate to drop those Artificer Mines. Nothing more satisfying than watching those mines explode and just give you free kills on anything that shows up. But as we just saw, never stand on them, especially when there's grenades around, because they will explode and do friendly fire when they do. So these 2 grenade launcher heretics have been hanging around for a while now and causing some pretty solid damage as they've been firing throughout all these different battles. They're both sitting at level 2 now. And Siege Bolters being upgraded on the Chaos Marines. Even with the help of Smite, those attacks do have to get out of there, especially with that Chaos Lord in there with those Lightning Claws. He's actually pretty well leveled at this point. You can see after using Mantle of Hate, he switched back to the Armor of the Inferno. Always good to see people that buy lots of war gear and switch it around. The Plague Marines were down at the bottom, it looks like, trying to decap the left point there, but the Tactical Marines did manage to rout that capture. Looks like another drop pod coming in here, reinforcing those Assault Marines. Saving Soom a bit of power there. But CSM will either be able to bring a Chaos Predator or possibly even a duo in a little while onto the field, depending on what he chooses to buy.
Your lord and master.
There is only the Emperor.
So Soom had 1 squad of Tactical Marines up, took a bit of fire, and had to fall back before taking any more losses. Soom has plenty of wreck, but really trying to minimize those TAC losses at this point. And CSM has been doing a good job of using his Bloodcrusher very reservedly against this army, with 2 missile launchers and Melt-A-Bombs and an Orb of the Omnissiah. That thing is still sitting pretty right now. You would think that it wouldn't be very difficult for Soom to take that out, but CSM's been very reserved with using that Bloodcrusher. So the Iron Halo popping up on that Chaos Lord, he's going to be able to tank an absurd amount of damage right now. And blood sacrifice on those heretics, bringing some bloodletters onto the field. Those tanks and assault marines are going to have to get out of there pretty quickly. And you can see the tech marine drop that orb of the Omnissiah and then got the heck out of there once again. So now purchasing a Devastator, bringing some more squads on the field. Oh, that's actually 2 Devastators now that are on the field for Soom. I hadn't noticed that. That's interesting. And let's see. Yeah, so I guess CSM's saving up for a Guo right now. He's got a crazy amount of resource sitting around. And Soom just bringing a las cannon up. Really tired of that Bloodcrusher. Definitely planning on getting rid of that now. And adding some suppression to the mix as well. There's the Guo. I figured at this point that's all he could really be saving up for. And Soom moving in with his big nasty pile of Space Marines of all types right now. You can see sergeants on both attack squads, missile launchers, sergeant on the assault squad. So I think this looks like a pretty nice setup right now. Both players just kind of locked down on either side of the victory point, and everything's probably going to come to a head as soon as this capture starts. Leaving those assault marines on the point a bit too long before they decided to jump in. They took a lot of damage from that first volley of grenades and the Inferno Bolters of the Siege Marines. Not throwing the Melta Bomb. Oh, there it goes. But unfortunately, the Chaos Lord's already in on the Tactical Marines, and the Worship is going to heal that Bloodcrusher right up. At this point, I would expect Soom to go ahead and get the Advanced Targeters on this 4 Devastator. I know it's not an often used upgrade, but it's relatively cheap and gives you a pretty nice increase in damage, which will both help deal with that Bloodcrusher and can really drain a lot of the health off of that Chaos Lord on approach as well. So again, those 2 grenade launchers just firing into this pile of Tactical Marines and causing some pretty significant damage. The Siege Marines did get suppressed, and the las cannon sitting way in the back there still. But both of these Chaos Heretic squads sitting pretty well leveled now, and just causing some constant attrition to Soom for his Tactical Marine. And oh my goodness, it's big, it's bad, and it is certainly ugly. The Guo's now on the field, pushing the front line here. The 2 squads of grenade launcher heretics still on the field, constantly pummeling grenades there. Again, we're seeing the Orb of the Omnissiah go off, dropping 100 energy off of that Guo right now. And there goes a Flesh Hook, stunning and knocking over those 2 Devastator squads, while the Tech Marines just sitting there trying to pound away at those Chaos Heretics. Soom's finally now going Tier 3, kind of just leaving some stuff sitting in the back here while he's trying to micro up front. Should be moving those back on the field if he can. And still keeping these devs on the field, trying to keep those in reserve in case that Guo or Chaos Lord try to push back and push the front line even more. That Librarian needs to get out of there. Oh no, now he's got Siege Marines, he just needs to retreat. Get out of there, Librarian. Oh no, a Flesh Hook. Oh, and he is down. Oh, he should have retreated a bit sooner than that. The Mantle of Hate getting switched back onto the Chaos Lord again. Switching between the Armor of the Inferno and the Mantle of Hate pretty constantly there. The Plague Marines have been constantly trying to sneak this back point here, but with both the Tactical Marines and the Assault Marines. Oh man, down to 1 member. Looks like it's going to get out of there though. Meanwhile, the Guo and the Chaos Lord just pushing this front line like nobody's business. The Chaos Lord with his shield and the Guo just able to tank so much damage that they just really don't care. And just charging in and smashing. Oh no! There goes one of Soom's Devastators and another Flesh Hook. And these Assault Marines need to get out of there. Unfortunately, taking another loss after that Flesh Hook. Soom's bringing a Predator onto the field, and the Orb of the Omnissiah going down again, draining the Chaos Lord's shield and the Guo's remaining energy, preventing any more flesh hooks, at least for a little while. So I've really been liking Soom's use of that to keep the energy at a minimum. Oh, and yet a third drop pod coming in now. Soom obviously not planning on dropping Terminators or a Venerable Dreadnought here in this game, just trying to keep up with the constant wreck loss that he's had throughout this game. This Guo seems a bit overextended. He needs to get out of there. Oh, and just perfect timing. The Predator's coming on the field for Soom. And Melt-A-Bomb going down. I think this Guo is as good as gone at this point. Just everything in Soom's arsenal, hammering it. But in the meantime, Soom is getting rather low on VPs, down to about 100 VPs. There goes the Guo, screaming in pain, and just ending in a big bloody mess right here, as he always does, laughing maniacally as he goes out. So now, Soom has managed to take out, it looks like, one of the Heretic squads as well. I missed that, unfortunately. But looks like evening the odds relatively here, but you can see CSM just has a huge pile of resource. He's buying himself a second Guo and still has enough to bring on a Chaos Predator if he wished to, while Soom's just trying to bring himself back into the game. Unfortunately, it looks like he forgot to reinforce this one tactical marine up here. He's going to be in a bit of trouble. And one lone plague marine moving in to try to decap that bottom point, constantly harassing with those plague marines throughout the game. These assault marines losing a couple members and again getting pushed back, but CSM doesn't really have an answer to that Predator right now, so he's going to fall back as well. Plague Marine encountered that Devastator down here and decided he's not going to be able to capture that point. And Soom bringing a second Predator onto the field, so at this point it's still anyone's game. Soom's definitely at the disadvantage as far as VPs go. He's about 200 points down and pretty much needs to hold the VPs for the rest of the game at this point. CSM's now bringing a Chaos Dreadnought on the field. Curious purchase, really. Possibly going for a Siege Dreadnought with rockets to deal with the tank that's now on the field. You can see this Bloodcrusher really hasn't been on the front line much. He's just kind of been hanging back, guarding this rear victory point. And that's really the key to keeping your Bloodcrusher up. It's an excellent unit, but a lot of people tend to just get excited when they first get it and charge it into battle, and tend to foolishly lose it that way. But keeping it throughout the game here has been definitely useful for CSM. So you can see Soom's just kind of hanging out, playing defensively, waiting for his forces to get regrouped and back on the field. And CSM doing the same thing now that he's got his second Guo moving up here. Gonna try to push this front line one last time. If he can secure this victory point and win this battle, he can probably take the game. So it'll be interesting to see how this battle goes down. Everything's moving on in. You can see CSM, that little haze there, popped his malignant blindness. So Soom can currently not see anything moving in on him right now. You can see the Assault Marines engaging the Plague Marines, trying to keep them away from the tank, but having to get out of there after taking a couple losses. They did lose their Sergeant, which is very unfortunate. Oh, and one more model as the Guo just takes him and tosses him aside. The Chaos Dreadnought's now on the field and upgrading, yes, to the March of Siege. And the Chaos Lord just hounding these tactical marines. He's very low though, he needs to get out of there. Probably gonna go down, it looks like. Oh, down to 18 HP. Oh, but gets out of the line of sight just barely. Oh my goodness, that was very fortunate for him. I guess that makes up for the time that the Chaos Lord missed the swing on the Tech Marine early on. But CSM does manage to take the map and push back all of Soom's forces. Soom's going to need to take that VP as soon as he can. You can see one of those tanks being upgraded to a Laz and just hammered that Dreadnought. Unfortunately, they do have to push back with his Plague Marines coming in. They did get an extra missile. This forward Predator might be in a bit of trouble right now. One more rocket and that'll be it. Soom now purchasing himself some scouts, probably to help heal these Predators and keep them up on the front lines. But CSM's managed to capture back his victory point and take a secured stance up here on the top VP as well. So it'll be interesting to see. This is pretty much Soom's last chance to take this center spot. So, oh man, we're seeing a drop pod yet again. That's 4 drop pods Soom has used this battle. And all is quiet before this last battle. I just kind of want to sit here in suspense. Oh no! CSM decides to start the battle early and pull that Tech Marine, and he's going to have to pretty much just get out of there right away after that Flesh Hook pulling him right into the heart of the Chaos Army right there. Assault Marines on the Plague Marines, but these Predators are in trouble. Oh no, there goes one, falls to the Khorne Dreadnought, but the Khorne Dreadnought does go down to the Laspred, and the second Predator now having to fall back and under threat. Oh no! Here comes a nuke, a Chaos Abyss right in the middle of Soom's forces, taking out a Scout Squad and a Tactical Marine Squad as well, and the rest of Soom's army does have to retreat through it. That was perfect placement. Oh, a couple more attacks and an Assault Marine getting pulled into there. Just one remaining squad member in that Devastator squad. Oh man, I think that sealed the deal for CSM. There goes the Devastator. Oh, the Chaos Lord performed a special attack. It looks like it is going to get out of there. Oh, there goes the Pred to the Plague Marines. And that's the game. There's the concede by Soom. Oh, and you can just see the Chaos Lord just tanking with his bubble right through the explosion of that Predator. Oh man, that Chaos Abyss right there was perfectly placed on Soom's army and just finished off the slaughter that CSM had been working on throughout the game there. So excellent play by CSM. Soom had a really strong opening, but after losing the Dreadnought and the 2 Sniper Scouts early in the game, really put him on the back foot, unfortunately. So anyways, a pretty awesome game, I think. Well played by both sides, of course. And this is Red-Rupee. Hope you enjoyed the cast. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.